Happy Halloween, you spooky sons of bitches. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome to this album review. This time we tackle the debut studio album by trap metal duo Bone Crew. This one is called Manifest. I was originally going to do a top 10 Ice Nine Kill song. Go check these guys out. This is how you do heavy metal. These guys are freaking awesome. But I didn't want to throw a video together on short notice that wouldn't be to the best possible quality, so I'm going to shelve that for a later date, and I figured I would do this album review instead. This is the new project from Attila's middle finger flaunting frontman himself, Chris Franzak. Eternally one of the most polarizing figures and just biggest general dickholes in the entire music industry. I have a really tenuous relationship with this man's music. Cover Killer Nation, one of my influences as a music critic, listed Attila's 2013 album About That Life as one of the worst heavy metal albums of the 2010s decade. Clearly he overlooked Guilty Pleasure, their follow-up from 2014. I will never deviate from my position that is one of the worst albums ever recorded. But then when I found myself enjoying one or two songs off of 2016's Chaos, like Let's Get Abducted, that was actually a pretty good song. It explored with some supernatural themes. It seemed that Guilty Pleasure was an accurate descriptor of the band's music, and all of their dumb frat boy jargon was somewhat vindicated. But then 2019's Villain came along, and the band traded edgy and offensive for just lazy and uninspired musicality. Even though songs like Subhuman were actually really surprising and saw Franz do more than just scratch the surface lyrically and become a little more vulnerable. But the thing that I can never get over is how this dude continues to insist and go out of his way to constantly remind you that he apparently doesn't care about your opinions of him or what you think about him. Suck my fuck, I don't give a fuck about opinions, fuck the haters, yada yada. But he dedicated 3 whole albums to it, going out of his way to remind you time after time after time. It was only when 2019's Villain came around that he finally started to stray away from that. But given the hip-hop undercurrent in Attila's music, it seems like a trap metal experiment was a logical way to go from here with the new endeavor. Look, he enlists a rapper who goes by, his stage name is DaBoy J. And I was going to plug his Instagram because his Instagram is @DaBoyJ. 2 reasons. 1, I'm a nice guy. 2, I don't even know his name. I could not find out what this man's name is for the life of me. He has no identity. But he's enlisted for this new project. But rest assured, it's just as sleazy and goddamn awful as anything Attila ever did before. And who the hell thought it was a good idea to marry trap with slam metal, as Franz puts it, when he was promoting this stuff on social media? Who would be caught dead trying to marry 2 diametrically opposed genres with no synergy between them? It's funny, Franz calls himself a rock star, but think about it, rock and roll was a fusion of blues and country and pop and rock and stuff like that. Like, that was a revolutionary fusion genre that took outer influences and combined them together in a cohesive way. There is no attempt on this album whatsoever to take these 2 diametrically opposed genres or subgenres or whatever and make them coexist. They're just crammed together and forced to occupy the same space. And literally every song follows the exact same structure. So Franz, lyrically, he's still objectifying women everywhere he turns and bragging about his wealth. Clearly he is still very comfortable in the role of Donald Trump's spirit animal. But then let's talk about the music. Franz, again, he describes this as trap and slam metal being kind of combined and converged together. But, like, what you get is simplistic chugging guitar riffs and Walmart great value hip-hop beats fighting for dominance constantly. There's no effort to coalesce these two into an even remotely decent sound palette. They just trade moments in the spotlight quite jarringly. And whoever else is providing production or instrumentation on this record had no interest whatsoever in letting all the energy and sounds sort of feed off each other. You get the same 13 tracks 13 times in a row. They literally dedicated an entire song on this album to a girl sucking dick. And the vocal delivery is equal parts uncomfortable and laughably atrocious. This is what happens when the 2 creepy guys that are loitering outside your local gas station decide to pursue a music career. Throughout the rest of the time, you have the boy Jay rapping about girls' asses and having money, and then Franz comes in with the guttural screams about how if you don't support him, you can go fuck yourself, yada yada. And for God's sake, these are grown men. Franz is about to be 31 years old. Time to grow up. These lyrics look like they were written by some inept, angsty 16-year-old who has no interest in growing up or trying to have the world figured out. And I'm honestly quite sick of hearing how, oh, it's just mindless fun to jam out to, you're not supposed to take it seriously. No. Part of my journalistic charge as an aspiring music critic is to take this stuff seriously, consume it, and then report back my honest thoughts. And you couldn't get me to mindlessly appreciate anything here if you tried. At least Attila would occasionally shine through with some guitars and some drums, like the technicality their talents as musicians would occasionally shine through. And they would try to maybe do something, but this is the bottom of the barrel. That's not to suggest Franz didn't hit the bottom of the barrel a long time ago, but I digress. This is the most tedious and lazy instrumental work I've heard in years. There's no convincing me that this wasn't thrown together as quickly as possible. It's hard to believe Franz has spent 2 years promoting this on social media. It took 2 years to make this, and this was the best they could do. And I'm anxiously, impatiently waiting for comments about why don't you do better? I already have. I have covers on my channel that I urge y'all to check out. I'm a way better singer than him. He might rap better than me. I don't care to rap. He might scream a little bit better than me. I mean, I was never good with unclean vocals, but I'm definitely a way better singer than him. Like, this is the most childish, talentless, and pretentious piece of shit, continuing to churn out the same tired nonsense and meandering, mindless dribble, time after time after time, and it's just getting old. I don't know how I can adequately consume such an obscure experiment where there's no synergy between the two starting points, and there's no effort to make them truly coexist. I highly doubt anyone's actively looking for something like this anyway. Like, this is just another failed experiment from the most untalented dickhole in music. Feel free to urge me to do better in the comments. I already have. And unlike this horrible album, I urge you to check my stuff out. This is definitely the worst album of 2020. Bone Crew Manifest yields a big fat 0 out of 5, and one big middle finger as well from me. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, smack the like button, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified the next time I upload. Happy Halloween. Go listen to some Ice Nine Kills if you want some really good metal that's also spooky. So happy Halloween, gang. Love you to death, and we'll see you soon.